The sky's been full of bright lights and sparks, but which board games have really caused a bang for us this month? Hi, I'm Julian and this is Libby and we are BoxedMeeples. You found us on YouTube but also on Hive and Twitter and Instagram. So today we're talking about the board games we've played in November, and as usual you have the list of everything that's been played this month.
It has been a bit of a difficult month for me. I've been away for work and things like that, but we've still managed to get a few new games and some shelf of shame ones even off already, so
yeah, well,
that's good.
And because you have been away, I've returned to an old favourite.
Yes.
I've discovered the joys of playing Overboss solo, which essentially is exactly the same game, just on your
without
own.
Me being so annoying, picking the one that you want.
Well, yeah, it's it works incredibly well to the point where you start feeling, how is this an afterthought? It works so well. It's exactly the same kind of basic mechanisms that you have when playing Overboss, but at the end of each round you eliminate a card and a token, and then you draw new ones, and then what's good is you can play it just randomly and try and get the best score. But there's also suggested kind of scenarios you can play, and they start off quite tricky to start off with, and I've played quite a bit of Overboss, to getting absolutely insanely hard for the sick one. But I've really enjoyed playing Overboss, so I kept myself busy while you have been away.
Yeah, it's not one that I've played solo yet, so I'm looking forward to that experience at some point in the future. One we did play together that you've been wanting to play for a long time, and I think it might have been one that you picked up at the Games Expo's, Chronicles of Crime.
Yes. Yeah, so I got it in the Bring and Buy.
Yes, you did.
Partly because we recently did a video about the Shelf of Shame, and we thought, well, let's start knocking some of these off. I thought Chronicles of Crime would be a good one to play. It's quick to table, and I love those kind of games. We've played Destinies before, so it's using a similar kind of scan barcodes with your phone type app, but it works really well for this game. And the theme, obviously, I've always liked those kind of detective style shows. So I thought it was really done well. And often I think I worry with these kind of games that it's going to be quite obvious. It's gonna.
Well, like who did it?
Yeah, and it's gonna force you down a path where you're just kind of going through the motions of almost like an interactive book. But it really, of the cases we've played, it really felt like there's lots of different ways we could go, and I like the way the cases evolve over time. So certain people aren't in the same locations at different times, and then it's trying to track down people.
Yeah, where's they gone now? Yeah, and it's quite fun when we're like, oh, I bet she's having an affair with that man, or oh, I bet she knows this person.
And one thing that really does elevate it, so you have the crime scene, and you get to look around the crime scene, and I found that experience is made all the better by this.
Yeah, that was excellent. So you put your phone into the viewfinder, and it basically gives you like is it 40-second timer, and you're looking around. As you look down, you're looking at the floor. As you look around, and you're trying to describe everything that you see to your partner, and they're sort of matching those up with kind of what could be evidence things. So is there some furniture, is there some food, are there footprints, is there blood? It could be anything, and you're trying to describe everything that you can possibly see in this room from looking around. That really does elevate it a lot.
You're in 3D then. That's very exciting. This is obviously is not a Chronicles of Crime one. You can get those, but I think they came to Kickstarter, so I just picked up this 3D viewer. It's a Star Wars one, but
it was very effective.
Yeah, it made the game much more immersive. Yeah.
And while we're on that type of game, actually, I played one called Vendetta, which was that same sort of crime-solving situation, but this time was much more sort of mafia-based, and who had killed the big Godfather-style son, who'd got himself into trouble, who was having affairs with who's sort of doing dirty dealings or stealing money from the Godfather family and all that kind of thing. And the theming and everything of it really worked well, I think, with that kind of investigative, looking at different locations. And it did it in a slightly different manner, not quite so app-driven for sure as Chronicles of Crime, but still quite fun. And not both of these are games that I wouldn't necessarily gravitate towards and sort of pull off shelves, particularly in a gaming store. but they're always games that once we start playing that I really enjoy.
Yeah, they're more my kind of game. I do like the mix, and I know people are critical about app-based games and app-focused games, but I do like the mixture of the kind of technologies. I find those, they're not video games, they're not board games, they're kind of halfway house, and I find, because they're always social, they're really great fun. They really appeal to me.
No, the app element I really enjoy. I think it's more the sort of cop period styling that sometimes puts me off slightly, which is what you sort of gravitate towards. Yeah. So, but as I say, when I play them, actually really enjoy it, and it's fun trying to feel like you're some sort of super stealth crime solving amazing clue solving.
I was pretending to be Sherlock the whole time.
You even had the hat on.
Yeah, probably a bit excessive.
A new one that we played on BGA for the first time was Fairy Trails.
Yes.
I have to admit that I started playing it without having reading the rules and thought that I could sort of guess what was going on. So that ended badly. Well, you
did win in the end.
I did win, but after going, what am I supposed to do here? Oh, okay, fine, I'll take my turn now. And I probably should have just read the rules.
It was okay by the end, partly because it's the first time I played it. I'd created so many open roads, it was impossible for me to get any more points in the last sort of probably 5 or 10 cards. So then just going through the motions until it reached the end.
Yeah, that I think was my problem as well. So I think when we play it again, obviously it will turn into that much more relaxing, easy go-to kind of tile placement and arrangement game, which if you love that kind of thing, it's super cute.
I just think there's other games of that style I'd rather play.
Yeah,
but it was okay. It was okay.
But when you're sat down and got 5 minutes, and it took us long.
It took us a long time.
But I would play it again. But now I know what I'm up to and what the point of everything is, and try and close all those loops off.
It's one of those occasions where someone said, "Do you want to play a game of it?" I would, but I wouldn't suggest it. So.
Fair enough. One that I think we both would suggest, especially at this time of year, is we have a print and play of Awaken Realms Light Giftbringer. And you all play Vikings, and you're going round on this little route of a roll and write, taking your Vikings. You've got to make sure they're active first, and then you can take them on a fun little route to deliver presents, and hope that some of them are so grateful for the presents that they give you gifts like cookies, milk, and muffins. Of cupcake muffins. Yeah. It was
so it's free to get. It was when I got it. I think it's still free, and it's just a very simple roll and write game. And bizarrely, it's our first Awaken Realms game we actually own, which I find.
Yeah, we did have it last year, and then somehow didn't play it.
We didn't get to play it. No. But it's so I printed off enough sheets for us to play it. I think 18 times, and it's half hour.
Yeah,
it's a. If you played a roll and write game, you know what it is. It kind of reminded me a little bit of like Welcome To. But really enjoyed it. It's free. Go and get it.
Yeah.
Just find it.
A little bit festive and a little bit Viking-y, so it sounds right up my street.
Winner.
A game that isn't new to us, that is of importance, you've spoken about it in our Game of the Month this month. We finished our campaign of Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion.
Yeah, so if you want to hear my spoiler-free thoughts, and as you're watching it, you might see me struggling to avoid saying anything that's spoilery. But we played it with 2 friends. We played it, I think, so we met up, I think, 17, 18 times, and we played 19 chapters our campaign led to. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, we had a great time doing that, and we're now ready for Frosthaven. When that arrives. So
we got it really as an introduction, having never played Gloomhaven, so it got us ready for Frosthaven, and it's done exactly that, and now we are very keen to play Frosthaven.
Exactly.
But much more of that in the best of the month.
I've got it down as new for me, but I think that I potentially played it years ago. But we both played Islebound, Red Raven game this month.
It was new to me.
Fun. Yeah, definitely new to you. Yeah, and it was just so long ago that I can't remember if I did play it. If I had, it was only the once. I know I played quite a few of those games. So I enjoyed that. We sailed around and completed our little sort of mission. things.
It's further proof that I love all Red Raven games.
Yeah.
I haven't played a bad one yet.
Yeah,
Maybe there is one. I haven't played it.
We haven't found it. No.
But every time I played a Red Raven game, I love the art.
Yeah.
I really love that. And, there's not as heavy obviously a narrative as you get in like Sleeping Gods. It's not that kind of game. And you can see in a lot of the Ryan Larker games the genesis of Sleeping Gods and how, that masterpiece came together from different ideas of other games. But obviously Sleeping Gods is 20 hours and this took us, well, it would have taken us less if there wasn't as much chat, but I think it's an hour and a half to play.
Yeah, there was a lot of chat in that game. But we hadn't seen our friends for a while.
No, so
yeah, there was some pauses, but I love that. Yeah, their styling is lovely. It's nice to have a sort of boaty, watery one. That's always ones that I gravitate to. So it's one I'd be keen to play again.
Yeah, I'd love to get it,
sure.
but it's just impossible to get. But I like all those games. So.
Another one that we both played that was my game of the month this month is Obsession. Yes. Been wanting to play that for ages. We had a great time pretending to be of dignified family.
Yes,
I was from the Cavendish family.
I was the Wessexes.
You were the Wessexes, yes.
Because I thought they sounded like the most Austin of all the of the houses. Although they had awful reputation. No one wanted to really come to their lawn bowls.
No.
But
all the lawn bowls were it's best held at the Cavendish family.
But what is often said of the Wessexes is they do a lovely village fair, which some people don't contribute towards.
No, I didn't do the village fair, and I feel like next time maybe I would do the village fair.
You're frowned upon by society.
I mean, who wants to waste time making floral bunting for a fair when you could be hosting balls parties?
Well, the village looked on you with much disdain. And that was how we spoke for the entire time we played this game.
But yeah, it's one that I
really
would love
good.
to play again.
Really good, liked it. And I've heard lots of people talk about how much they like it, and I can understand why.
Yeah, no, it was fun, and I chat more about it in our game of the month. So if you haven't seen that, go
have a watch.
Yeah.
Cast one's eyes upon its grandeur.
We played Ominoes. It's not dissimilar in that kind of you're trying to score certain areas and things. You were rolling dice to be able to move your pieces into different directions, and there's wildcard pieces that you can sort of put on, and you're trying to score groups of them. And you have the opportunity to sort of potentially move your opponents at certain roles and stop them from being able to do what they want.
It's a clever kind of thinky game that isn't immediately obvious when you first see it, and you just go, well, it's a collection of dice that you're placing on this board, but it was actually really thoughtful.
If you're into sort of Egyptian styling and that kind of placement,
if you really like hieroglyphics dice,
then I think it's one worth looking into a little more.
It's
for
good.
Sure.
So that was at Uncon.
It was at Uncon, yes. We went to a local gaming convention here in Kent, and you have a couple of the friendly local gaming stores, and then loads of different tables of local designers with different sort of levels of how far the game has got in terms of production, and then there's a big library and a bring and buy and stuff. So it was a fun day.
I feel we can talk about Ominoes because that's available to buy, but a lot of the other games,
one of the more finished games. For sure.
A lot of the other games we played were great, and you can watch it in the kind of on the floor video we have. If you can hear it, sorry again about the sound and that one. But we was nice to. It's always nice to see independent ideas and just see the realisation of dreams, because we got to catch up with Scott and who made Swatch, and just talk to him, and he once showed that for the first time at Uncon. So, fast forward a few years, and it's a kickstarted, published game that's doing incredibly well. So
and hopefully some of the others we saw then will go the same way.
And I got a bit of Kingdomino, which I'd never played in person. Which was great.
And your girls got to play it for the first time.
And they really, really loved it. And it was, they're the kind of right age to play it. And it was another con where they did play it properly, and there was a thought process going on there. And they immediately said, can we play it again? Because then they realised the limit of the town, and they're like, oh no, I can't place where I need to, and this big for my youngest one, had built this whole desert, which was spectacular. But she hadn't scored it, and she was desperate to get another scoring way to get this big bounty of points, and she never got it. So she was so furious about this, but then eager to play it again. So
yeah, that would be a nice one to
they
get them
did
more
like
often. Yeah. The next one we played with your girls, which they also absolutely loved, was Taco Coat. No. Hold on.
This is how bad you were at it.
Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza.
Taco
I think
Cat,
I
Goat Cheese
won
Pizza.
actually.
Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza.
Yeah.
Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza Taco.
Yes, so we played that for the first time, which they were loving. I was actually quite fast at it.
Yeah, I think the more you play it, the more you get into that rhythm of Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza.
Yeah.
It's lots of fun, and not just for children. you know the occasion you want to play this with adults. When saying Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza becomes incredibly funny and incredibly hard to say.
Yes. Well, another one that we played, which is actually the last of the new ones this month, is Tidal Blades, Heroes of the Reef. We got this played. It was on our shelf of shame,
and I think it's
moments ago, and it's played already. I'm very proud.
I think we played it because we had done that video, and that was
Yes.
the one we both were like, oh, we should play that.
Yeah.
It's really good. Really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah.
So
I love the art style and the colouring of it. I think some people have said that they wished that it was just one board or a play mat or something, and I kind of intend to agree with that. Like if there was a play mat of it. Yeah, the styling of it, there's different dials that allow you to do different actions are really interesting. I think when we next approach it, we'll really be thinking about what we're keen to do with our character when, and what we really want to boost up early doors with the missions that you go on.
We often say the first game of a game is kind of a trial, but we played it all through properly.
Yeah.
It just means next time we play it, we're going to be so much
strategy.
Better.
Yeah.
And originally, I think in that video you compared to Champions of Midgard, which is nothing like in the end.
I get the similarities, but I feel like playing them feels different, which is what I wanted, what I hoped for. In the same way that I was saying a couple of months ago, or last month, who remembers, about June, Arnak, and
Ennis Winter.
Yes. And because a lot of people compare those three, I was worried. I don't want dead games on my shelf, even if I love them. If you have one that sort of ranks 20 higher than the other, you're always going to end up pulling that one off. And I wanted to make sure that everything on the shelf is something that we will pull off and play. So I think that's why I was sort of a little bit worried, but this was a bargain in a sale, so
it's really
jumped
good.
in for it.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I do enjoy it, and I think that we will keep pulling it off, and I am interested in some of the expansions.
Now, as you said, obviously you've been away, so I did get a chance to go to Board Game Club without you.
Me.
So there are some extra games that I played without you.
Yeah.
I managed to finally play Tiny Epic Dungeons, which is a game I actually backed standing here, right on this very spot.
Yes, this spot.
Before we bought this house, we were looking around the house, and it was on Kickstarter at that time. And by that point, I think it's our second viewing of this house, and we're going to buy this house. So I backed it.
Well, I think we might have just had the offer accepted.
Right, and I backed it standing right here, knowing that one day it would be on these shelves.
Yes.
So I've had it, obviously, Kickstarter, and got it to the table. And is it a good Tiny Epic game? No. Is it a good game? Absolutely. It's the problem with it is that it's kind of hampered by the tiny epicness of it, because it needs more text on the cards. The cards need to be bigger, but obviously then they wouldn't fit in the box. And it feels like a really good game that the bits that make it the tiny epic part almost subtract from the game.
Right. Okay.
Lovely miniatures, which I've had a chance to paint.
You have, yeah, they look great.
And we had a really good time. It's a difficult game to get into because, again, all the Tiny Epic games are obviously quite simple and quite quick to get into, yet have the hidden depth. Whereas this one had a very high learning curve because it's trying to do so very much. And it does do it well. I did enjoy playing it, and we actually played it 3 times in one night. With different characters, because we have the stories expansions with the extra characters, and we had the extra rooms that you get. But yeah, it was it just took a lot of time to kind of get going and get into. But once we did, we really enjoyed it. And
you play it again now.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
Think you'll kind of find that a little bit of a smoother ride.
I just wish it was just epic dungeons. You know, like in the same way you get Heroes of Land, Air and Seas in a bigger box, and I wish that was the case with this, because I love the tiny epic games.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy it, but yes, it had its limitations, which was frustrating. And then after we played that, I played a game called Welcome to the Dungeon, because
all about the dungeons.
I was all about dungeons that day, and yeah, that was a kind of almost a button style game of drawing cards and having to force your opponent to enter the dungeon when they're at a disadvantage too, and they're going to get massacred, because whoever enters the dungeon but can't complete it loses, and however, if they enter the dungeon and can complete it, they win, and it's best of 3. Yeah, it's very quick to play, so I played it with a friend of mine from the Board Game Club, and after the first round we're like, okay, we've got this now, and then we started playing it again and again and again. It's one of those ones where you go, well, this isn't good, until it makes sense, and that it is good, and I did enjoy it. I watched a very old Tom Vassell review when I got home, and he was so excited by it, and now I think we've got more used to these kind of smaller deck style games, so it doesn't seem as revolutionary, but you know, back in the day obviously it clearly did. And yeah, it was an enjoyable romp. I enjoyed it. So yeah, worth looking out for if you see it cheap somewhere, I think. And you like those kind of, you know, almost bluffing, almost deception style games. There's quite a lot goes into it.
Yeah. So that's our roundup of the November games. It's been a bit short, this one, but I'm assuming that December, January will be much more bumper months with the Christmas haul. We're getting through our Shelf of Shame anyway, and with work and things, going to have a lot more opportunity to play. So
we have already decided it's going to be almost Star Wars month.
Yes, we are going to play all of our Star Wars games.
As you probably know if you watch the channel a lot, we always play Rebellion on Boxing Day, so we'll be doing that, and want to get Out of Him back to the table, and
Darkside Rising was a gift for a birthday, so I want to play that again. We often play Jabba's Palace, our Board Game Club, so
I think
I'm
that'll
sure
just
that
naturally get played anyway.
And yeah, so we've got some spacey games coming along for sure.
And of course, anything we get for Christmas will hopefully get played as well in that kind of post-Christmas before New Year section. That, you know, might be able to fit some of our new games in there.
Yeah. If not, they'll make their way to January.
And one game we're definitely going to be playing is Overboss.
Yes, we have plans for that one.
It's going to get into the table in December.
Definitely, you'll hear what we think about that one in December.
But thank you so much for watching. If you discovered us by accident, we post videos here on YouTube, usually twice a week. And yeah, please comment if you've enjoyed this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the bell if you want to get told when there's a new video up.
Yes, we'd love to hear from you. And we will see you next time.
See you in the end of December.